So I'm Dave Homebuyer, the problem solver. Welcome so much. A co-host today, Felicia, a.k.a. Fee. Then we have Steve Hawks, the guru. The Hawk has just flown in from Henderson. Steve, thanks for coming. We'll do like a real estate update, real estate problem solver. Steve, real quickly, October 1st. It's the last quarter, which is crazy. 2020, let's say 24, 2025.
Yeah.
Getting lost with these years, Jesus Christ. So give us a quick update. It's October 1. We're in Las Vegas. Give us the local update of what's going on. I know I call you all the time on what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is watch our old previous podcast, and it's the same thing. It's like Groundhog Day. Everything's the same. Lowest transactions ever. Buyers are still on strike. Sellers, though, are starting to realize, oh, wait a minute. When the rates drop, I don't think my house is going to pop up like I thought it was in the first place. So now we're starting to see, and new home builders have dropped the rates, dropped the prices, and they're still not selling what they need to sell, and they've cut the permits. So now we're starting to realize, hey, the real economy, that free money, what happens? When you don't have free money, economy slows down.
You know, what's interesting is, I help my wife in regards to this, and I'm always listening to Steve, and I call Steve, 3 o'clock in the morning, like, Steve, what's going on? How do you sell this home? What do we got to do? What's going on with the market?
He'll text me at 3. I'll get him the next morning, or you text me all the time at 11.
I just realized I can't use send later. You don't have an iPhone, do you?
No, I probably blocked you.
Oh, maybe you know that feature send later on the phone?
Yeah, I don't
in other
use
words?
it.
So what I do is it's late at night. I'm looking at my text message and I press send later, but it's 9 a.m. Seriously, to get the text message.
Yeah.
But it's a weird situation because the economy, the market, politics. I mean, like it's kind of a crazy time.
It's not weird. It's very cut and dry. You stopped giving away free money. You started making people pay their bills again. This is what happens. I mean, things things are slowing down. Things aren't slowing down. They're getting back to normal. What's that new normal? We're gonna find out. You got student loans. Millions of people weren't paying the student loans. Now they're having to pay the student loans. That takes money out of the economy. When people were getting that free money, we had Uber drivers. I had an Uber driver that bought 3 homes. He got $60,000.
Good point.
From free money. So that's never coming back.
I guess we forget about it. We just think that's like normal. And we had a lot of Uber drivers as well.
Well, not only that, like we talked on the other podcast, there was billions of dollars. There was at least $200 billion in fraud from all that PPP, all that stuff.
Money.
At least $200 billion, right? That's what the government's telling us, $200 billion. Well, where did that money go? Real estate, stocks, crypto, and cars. And now you're starting to see, I mean, look, 4 years ago, you couldn't find a Lamborghini in LA. Now there's like 600 for sale. It's crazy.
Lamborghini, we need one. Felicia, what's your thoughts just regards to Vegas, the economy, market? I mean, he studies this every single day, but what's your take?
Well, I just think in general, like we have to come back from it, so it's going to cost money, right? That's why everything's inflated at the moment, and so it's going to take us a while to get back, and that's going to hurt a lot of people that aren't making more money, but they were getting those freebies and they were, kind of living off the government, and that is a problem. And the only way to come back is to hit rock bottom first.
Hopefully not.
Look at Austin, right? There was an NGO that they said gave out $3 billion to immigrants, right? That's $2,500 a person. So that was going towards rent. Well, guess where the number one place for rents have dropped? In Austin. So you can find these places where they're getting the most money from these NGOs, and you go, oh, look at that, look at this, and that's where you're starting to see the quickest contraction. Look at Austin. People say, oh, right, real estate prices are falling. I mean, look at all these places they're falling. Florida, Texas, Arizona, Vegas, Idaho, Utah. I mean, all these places prices are falling. Don't be fooled by that median price. That median price is a worthless statistic.
Well, doesn't that have something to do with the inflation of prices in general, too? Like when everybody was buying and houses were like just skyrocketing. I sold my house in Denver and moved here because of how high it was in 2021. So, yeah, those skyrocketed. People were buying at the peak of the market, and then now we're kind of going back down to normal terms, and people are losing.
Right, and you go look at that house you sold in Denver. I bet it's worth a lot less than it was when you sold it.
It's actually worth more, believe it or not, because of just how Denver is. It's worth more, but it's not that much more.
When did you buy it?
So we bought it in 2018.
Okay, so
before 20,
and we made 130 on it.
It's worth more today than when you sold it?
Yes.
Okay, I bet you in 6 months that's changing because Denver's in deep trouble right now for same reasons.
Yeah,
so
it's worth just slightly more, but it is more.
So you always say there's one standard here for Vegas. You're saying we're saying for the next, was it 3 months or 6 months, if a home is up is about $500,000 and up, or $500,000 and less. Give us your
the ones under $500,000, like we've been saying, the ones above $500,000, like we've been saying for the past 6 to 8 months, those are starting to fall a lot now. They were starting to slowly gradual. All you gotta do is go take a walk at the new homes.
Just see what the new home pricing
Actually,
is.
question for you. So I just found out from my husband that they are like, some of these new homes are renting for cheaper than you can actually like buy them per month, right? So what's your look on that? So are these homes that people couldn't sell, like these builders couldn't sell? Like, why are they renting out these brand new homes?
They've been doing that for like about 7 years now. I was one of the first people did a video on it on Cactus, one of the first places that they built new homes only for rentals.
Renting.
So they built these new homes just for rentals. So a lot of these builders, they specifically built just for that.
There's not because they can't sell them as they're building them, like
No,
brand new last year homes.
No, they planned on the builders planned on building these homes for rentals. They've sold thousands of them, and it's much cheaper to rent right now than to buy that same house. I mean, there's an example of Mountain's Edge. We had this buyer, the identical house. He could have bought the same identical house with a payment of about $4,100, and he could have rented it for $1,800. What are you gonna do?
Oh, I'm not buying right now.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? And don't this nonsense about you should buy because you don't want to rent. Whoa! Wait a minute here. If you buy a house, the first 5 to 7 years you're renting anyways. You're just paying off the interest. That's go check out your amortization table. That's all that is. So a 3 to 5 year period, if the house is dropping. People say, buy and just wait. Well, you can time it now. They turned the real estate market into a stock market. So it's no longer your, grandfather's idea of buying real estate where buy it and hold on. Just buy. Well, wait, yeah, that's great. But wait, what about if I start timing it like the stock market or coming close to timing it because of all the stuff they're doing, like inflating the money supply, like we talked about, deflating the money supply. Well, in 2021, if you remember, me and Noah jumped out of that big trash can and says, hey, home prices, everything's going to go through the roof because they said they were going to increase the money supply by 25%. Well, that's a no-brainer. You don't need a crystal ball to know that everything's going to go up. And we told you that it's not going to be transitory inflation like they claimed. And now, look, they're still dealing with this inflation that they said was transitory. Don't worry about these low rates. Don't worry about this increase of money supply. Don't worry about this free money. Well, now look.
Okay, so new homes where it's at, basically, to look at the pricing. But just to recap, the next 6 to 8 months, because people keep asking, 500 grand and up, we're saying 20-25% decrease
from the peak. We already see some homes above 500 that are 15 to 20% down from the peak. So if you bought your house in 2018, 2019, no, your house isn't going to go below what you paid for it. But if you bought a house, we're already seeing it. If you bought a house in 23, 24, an average house above 500, yeah, it's probably worth less today than it was now. Now in fact, we just one of my friends just did a flip in Summerlin where he's back to 2021 prices. So there was a comp at 750. He just sold his flip for 670, and his flip had thousands of dollars, probably $100,000 into it, right? He still made a lot of money, but he expected to make more because when he bought it, the comps were 750. Well, now he didn't want to take any more chances, so he sold it for 670 because these other houses for 710 and 720 were sitting on the market. They were before him. And now his is the nicest one. So all these houses that are sitting on the market that aren't as nice as his, aren't upgraded, they're not going to sell for 670. They're going to sell for less. And basically every house that we're selling right now, over 500, their prices, our buyers are getting them, our sellers are getting them. Our sellers are getting less than what the prices were in 2024, 2023. Some are back to 2021 prices. Hey, Lennar just said all the 5 years, we're back to that whole 5-year push of bubble prices. Lennar has dropped their prices all the way back down, and that's in their report.
All right, so 500 grand and less. What'd
Now,
you take
500 grand and less, now you can pick and choose because there's some areas where the 500 grand and less, they're not falling as much. They're falling a little bit, but you got to remember the hedge funds destroyed that, right? They destroyed middle-class home ownership in Las Vegas and probably Denver too. They went in and the hedge funds bought tens of thousands of homes under the 500 range. So that keeps an artificial base. That also throws off the median price because when you have one entity or a few entities buying, tens of thousands of houses under the median price, that's naturally going to artificially bump up the median price, and it skews the numbers. And that's exactly what we're seeing. No matter we could have a depression, and those homes under 500 aren't going to fall that much because so many of them are taken out of the pool. It's like they never were built because they're just in the rental. But what do you see right now with rentals? Rentals, it was just in the RJ, I think it said rents are down 14% in the last 24 months, and rents have dropped 35 consecutive months, and where they're going to continue to drop, because now that's where you're going to see the real housing cost, because the rents are more impacted by the jobs and stuff and all that. So that's what we're starting to see right now.
I always love it. Such a game when I talk to Steve. I'm like trying to get all this knowledge, and like, oh my God. Especially because I have a bunch of rental properties, and it's interesting because my property manager will message me, and I feel like they don't know what to talk about. Like, the lease is up, and we think you should raise it by $50. And I'm like, well, what's the rental comps? I don't even know my current rents. I have a bunch of places. So I'm like, what are the rental comps? What is the rent now? Do they want to stay? But even though rents are going down, doesn't mean that I need to lower them down. And also, I watched some other things where I want to do like a 2-year lease, but make it keep them in, because it costs me money every time someone moves out, right? You have to fix something up and paint it. My thought process is like, give them a deal. Like, say it's going to be $2,400 for 2 years, but if you stay, it's $2,999. I don't want to. What's $50? I mean,
exactly right. See, that's exactly why mom and pop landlords are so important to the market, because you and other mom and pops, they're not going to kick somebody out for $50, $100. They're going to say, you know what? I'll keep the rent low because I don't want to miss one 30-day that's going to cost me $2,000. I'm going to keep these people here. I'm going to work with them. Hey, Dave, I need a little bit of help this month. Okay, no problem. You've been good for how long, whatever. Well, these hedge funds, they don't work like that. You're a number. And guess what? They don't care if they don't rent out 3 houses. If they can get more for these 5 houses, they'll keep these 3 vacant and raise the rent on these. Oh, I need this, I need that. Sorry, you're just a number. And they have attorneys to push back on all these laws. So all these, rental laws that they're putting in, that just hurts the mom and pop, because the hedge funds, they got all the attorneys to handle all this stuff. So now that you have these mom and pops that are going to say, you know what, these crazy laws, I'm just going to have to sell. And who do they sell to? The hedge funds. And what do the hedge funds do? They raise the rents because they don't care. And guess what? When you get money from the tenant, where does that money go? It stays local. You go somewhere, you buy something. What happens when these hedge funds
goes out? It
goes to Wall Street. So it hurts our economy, because now how many jobs are being lost and how many businesses aren't opening up because that money that instead of going to a mom and pop or staying local is going to Wall Street. And the money that these tenants are paying higher rent, instead of using it in a local business or locality, it's going to Wall Street. That doesn't happen with mom and pops.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely the concern. I think that that's the problem, is that the cost of money, that's what's actually killing me, right? If someone moves out of a place, even though you have the deposit, it's still going to cost me a few $1,000s to fix the floor. That
was a natural fixture in the rental market for mom and pops that kept rents even and level. And then as soon as you get these hedge funds that, treat everything like a number and destroy everything, private equity, what do? They destroy everything. Name one business that private equity gets into that doesn't destroy. Hey, take a walk down to Caesars. Take a walk down to the Strip. What happened? Private equity, all this nonsense. Selling the land, stripping. Red Lobster, Toys R Us, JCPenney, Sears. These were iconic companies that, what do they all have in common? Wall Street.
So, Felicia, we were talking last few episodes with Steve, and we'll do our real estate kind of recap, that a lot of people are going online to like Zillow, and they're looking for homes, and they basically go online and they look at a house, and then at the end on the bottom there, it says to contact like a Zillow agent. But if it's listed by another agent, then you don't really find that out. And when you call the number, that agent like makes believe like, oh yeah, how can I help you? You want to see the home. But you always think, even myself, when I would call, I would say, are you the listing agent? They kind of don't say that they're not the listing agent. They go, oh, I work with them.
Well, it depends who you're talking to. Some people say the listing agent. We have a video of somebody that was acting like the listing agent the whole time.
Mm-hmm. So the bottom line is that there's kind of like consumer things are going. We've been talking in different episodes, and recently a lawsuit just came out, Steve, right? And that everything that we've been speaking about in the past about, well, I guess we could call it, like, it's almost like defrauding the consumer, like consumer practice, Well,
the lawsuit is deceptive. Hey, all you got to do is go watch our past podcast, and it's like they took our podcast and put it in here. So because we're just talking in general about the industry.
So this is 29 pages. So we're going to have Gentille, who's the real estate expert, basically going to read the entire lawsuit for us. Can you start on page 1?
Absolutely. It'll take, I don't
it'll take me like maybe
She's so
20
bright over
minutes.
there. You see how bright she is now?
10 minutes, yeah.
She's so beautiful, Gentille.
Yeah.
Her real estate.
Gotta bring my own
This
freaking
is her-
lighting over here.
Actually, some good lighting that she brings with her. Wherever she goes, like anywhere, any room, she always carries her own lighting.
Yeah,
You're
yep.
looking very bright.
We're trying to
Absolutely.
brighten you up by putting you closer to the light.
Oh, yeah.
We all
okay,
need our
great.
personal lights. You should have that light like on the side when you walk around. You just have a light with you.
Yeah, no, the lights.
So can you start on
my
page?
halo?
I was
Start
just
on
gonna say,
page
she's got
one.
that
I have a
halo.
halo, yeah.
Start on page 1. Tell us what's going on with the lawsuit.
Oh, God, what is this? Okay.
I'm joking. Steve,
okay,
tell
yeah.
us.
What
Steve,
is it? What is
Steve
this
knows every-
lawsuit?
Steve knows
Well,
every-
here, let me see real quick. So
What
right
is
here,
Steve? Hold on. Alucard Taylor. Okay, that's an individual. Zillow. Oh,
So-
okay.
It's all about Zillow, but tell
Okay.
us.
so
I'm playing with Gentille.
Zillow.
I mean, that's like I said, that's going to take 3 or 4 different
Episodes.
episodes.
Yeah.
But it
Break us down.
the
break us down.
introduction, it's what many of us have been talking about for years. I mean, realtors, consumers are calling, like when you're looking for your house. If you're calling on these online lead gen companies, they're the portals like you're talking about before. So you're calling, and you say, hey, I want information on this house. You think you're getting the listing agent, or you think you're getting the agent that's representing the seller. And they redirect the portals usually redirect it to the agent that is paying or paying the referral. Well, these fees have gotten crazy the last 5 years, and now that it's a huge impact to consumers, and the law firm that just beat NAR in the antitrust filed a lawsuit against Zillow for deceptive trade practices and many other things that we can.
That's what it's
in here.
deceptive trade. Deceptive trade.
And I mean, on here, I was pretty surprised. I think they said that 80% of the. Oh yeah, it says in the lawsuit. It also Zillow is the undisputed market leader in online real estate listings and investment presentations. It notes it has 66% of the U.S. real estate audience share, twice as high as its nearest competitors. I think it's even higher than that, but whatever. It also promotes the fact that 80% of consumers come to Zillow directly. 80% of consumers come to Zillow directly. That's right here.
Even more
If
so
you're
than
gonna do
Realtor?
that, if you're gonna-
Realtor.com?
Oh, Realtor.com's
Nothing? Okay.
that just if you're going to have that much power, you better be doing everything right. You better be doing everything right, and you better not be going into other industries and doing stuff that's not right. Because if you start trying to take business away from other industries, like the mortgage companies, they're going to come after you, and that's what we're starting to see. Like we talked about, if you remember on our podcast about 9 months ago, I said that Zillow getting into the mortgage industry and requiring their Zillow Flex people to use Zillow, or they're not going to get any more leads, or they're going to reduce the amount of leads. And now the Zillow Flex agents are telling their lenders they've been working with for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I can't send you any more business. You don't think these mortgage companies are going to start fighting back? That's exactly what's going to happen. That's
Absolutely.
exactly what happened, because you're not playing with, Zillow's used to be dealing with these, clowns running NAR and the local MLSs that are who knows what they're doing, right? Now you're playing with the big boys, the mortgage companies, right, and other portals. So the mortgage companies are coming in hard with these guys. I mean, you're dealing with people that own the Phoenix Suns and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're billionaires, right? And they've been in this industry. And when you're starting to do stuff that's not kosher, well, guess what? They're going to start talking to their buddies, and now I think there's 5 or 6 lawsuits now that have been filed against Zillow from all different things, Homes.com, the attorneys for the antitrust. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they fight back on all these. And guess what? What happened here is, and remember I said that Compass lawsuit, Zillow should just say, okay, we'll work something out, keep it on the down low, right? Because anytime you have a lawsuit, you have a discovery. Well, that's going to start opening up other avenues. And that's what we're starting to see. They're saying, oh, wait a minute, attorneys, wait, the consumers are paying 40%? What? What are you talking about? This is what is starting to open up now, that the public is starting to learn, and consumers are starting to learn, and attorneys are starting to learn, and the government agencies are starting to learn, wait a minute, 40%? Where's that disclosed? Is it disclosed on the HUD? Are the closing documents? Where's it disclosed? Why don't these consumers know about it? We talked about it before.
So
Wait. I'm sorry, the 40% on what?
That's
Again?
like the percentage they get back to
Oh,
Zillow,
the
right? They're
kickback.
getting
Yeah.
The referral
Well, it's
or
legal.
something.
It's legal because they're basically a real estate entity, right?
Well, that's there you go. That's coming into question now. Just because you have a real estate license, does that mean you're a real estate company? Or was that just something to get around the loophole?
Well, that's
Makes
well, that's
sense.
the problem,
right? Is that, did you just get, are you really a real estate company, or are you a marketing company, technology company that's trying to dip your hand in,
Yeah.
but you're not a real estate company?
everyone's-
Was the spirit of the law, when they originally created these laws about having a real estate license to get a referral, was that the spirit of the law, where I can just get my real estate license and now I can do all these things that aren't supposed to be being done?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because with the legal world, with attorneys, like, you can't get a percentage unless you're an attorney. But in Arizona now, you could be a non-attorney, but have a lawyer basically like supervise, and you could be a non-attorney to basically own a law firm as long as you have a lawyer, in
Only in
general.
Arizona?
Yeah, but
Only
you're
in
not
Arizona.
practicing law.
Okay.
But you're not practicing law, but you have to have a
And you're
lawyer
not
there.
getting- yeah.
But for like this state, like pharmacists, you basically need to be a pharmacist to own a pharmacy, or a chiropractor. Like there's different laws, but I think everyone's looking for the loophole of how do you make the money. And also, Amazon is trying to take over, whether it's pharmacy, whether it's legal. Like Zillow is trying to take it over in general. But this was interesting. I have two things actually for both of you guys that will be interesting. One, when you go online to Zillow, if you're looking for a house, he mentions the word which I think goes over people, which is a portal tax. Basically, you're using Zillow as a portal to basically find what homes are available. But what happens is you're paying more money for that house because the realtor has to pay 40% commission to Zillow. So he's going to raise numbers. He's going to play with it.
Actually, they got to pay 70%, 40% to Zillow, and then 30% to the team lead. Go ahead.
Wow.
So what happens is the realtor, correct me if I'm wrong, the realtor wants to get the highest paid commission, right? Because he's losing money. You don't want to take low,
Is the realtor a human? Is the realtor have human nature? Of course, you're going to try and make as much money as possible.
Exactly.
And
So
these
you're
are the
paying
rules.
more, and that's the portal tax. That's what we would say the portal tax is.
Yeah, and I don't
It
think
goes
there's
back to the consumer.
I don't think there's any doubt that agents that have to pay a referral fee are going to charge more to get that, to pay that. In fact, many
Charging more for their commission, you mean?
Yeah, they have to, because you're paying out 70%. So instead of, I would have done that for 2, or I would have done that for 1.5. Now I got to do it for 3 or 4 or 5. There's some companies are trying to get 6 now because they're like, hey, let's try and get as much as possible.
Oh,
6 from one side?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I haven't
yes.
seen that yet. But,
Yes.
you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so I actually got. It's funny. It gets very advanced, but really, it's 40% that goes to Zillow. Then when the 60% that's left, 30% goes to the team leader. So
No, 50% of the half. But basically, 30% goes to the realtor, and 30% goes to the team lead.
So like a new realtor is basically making 30%.
Correct.
So, but the whole concept of the portal tax is that a regular consumer, if Felicia wants to basically buy a home, she's paying more because she went through Zillow
Yeah, she
compared to going directly to Gentille.
Well, she
Yes.
could. She could. I mean, that's not always guaranteed. He's saying that the agents could charge more, but I haven't seen that quite yet.
Oh
obviously,
yeah.
because
Every single one. No. Every single time.
Everyone is afraid to even go over 3 still.
No.
even though-
No. Not the lead gen companies. They don't have a choice. They can't do it for 2.
If you were a Zillow, if you were a Flex agent,
You can't.
You can't. You have to follow their
I mean,
rules.
technically, yes, you can. I don't
Yeah.
mean like it's again. You can't. But why would I? I mean, I'm gonna make on a $500,000 house, I'm gonna make
750?
2750.
But they're not. So you're saying Zillow is not, or the agents that work for Zillow is not disclosing this information to their client up front? Is that what you're saying too?
They're not disclosing about the
Percentages.
The split.
I have
Right.
never seen one, and I don't
Yeah.
know anyone that ever has.
Yeah.
So maybe some
Oh, so
some
you're
of them
saying
are disclosing them.
when you close a real estate deal and it's a Flex agent, does it say 30% goes to this agent, 30%, 40% goes to
Commission,
Zillow? Does it
right.
On
does
the
it break
closing
down?
documents,
There
I've never seen that.
So is the
That's
problem
weird. There should be, though.
the way the policy is, or the fact that nobody ever questioned it and they just use it?
Oh no. Realtors
questions.
realtors have been questioning this for over 10 years
Yeah.
now. I was on stage in front of hundreds of realtors
Why are your buyers and sellers not questioning?
No, they are.
because they don't know. They
Oh,
don't know.
oh, they don't know.
They don't
Yeah,
know
you're
about
right.
the
But
hidden
then
fees.
why are the realtors not informing them so that way they do? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like I feel
but
like
that-
there's a lack of
That's
communication
a
all around.
closing disclosure. Obviously, the net sheet is supposed to show all that though at the end, because no one's going to close without knowing.
So
those
how are they
fees.
getting by with
So
out?
some realtors disclose it. Some people talk about it, but it could have been easily taken care of by putting a watermark on the picture so people know who the listing agent is. And it could have been just like some MLSs. Some MLSs do require the agent to disclose that. So our good question, why aren't all the MLSs forcing their realtors to disclose any of these fees?
With
I mean,
the-
that's
with
common
the-
sense right
with
there.
the
You- yeah,
lawyers.
you
To
just
me,
said
it's
it.
just
Common
the
sense.
communication should be there in one way, shape, or form, and the questions should be there if it's not.
Correct.
With the attorneys.
And here, let me go a step further. I just did a deal where I was countering back, and I asked them the Zillow agent
Disclose.
to disclose how much they're paying the referral. Oh, we don't have to. Yes, you do. No, I don't have to. And then the broker chimed in. Oh, no, we don't have to. Yes, you do. And then I asked them because they wanted some money for the repairs. So we asked the agent to kick in a little bit. I kicked in a little bit. And then we asked Zillow to kick in a little bit. But they never, from my understanding, the agent and broker said we don't have to submit that. And as we're going back and forth, right? Okay, we're going back and forth, right? The lawsuit comes down.
Oh, this is before our lawsuit.
This is before the
NAR,
lawsuit.
the NAR.
No, this is before the Zillow lawsuit.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah. So as we're going back and forth, and then all of a sudden, I thought it was kind of funny because on that Friday, the lawsuit came and we were going back and forth. But to your point, some of these realtors that are doing this, they don't want the consumer to know. Because if the consumer knew, would you use that agent that's going to had to pay 70%?
But should you use that agent that isn't answering these questions? Like the
Right.
people need to know, because now you should be picking somebody who's actually serving you correctly,
right.
not these people just because it's easy access to an app.
But for an average consumer that hasn't done any real estate or bought too many homes, they probably wouldn't know those questions, you know?
Even the consumers that do know, that have bought several homes. We had a client that, I had a client that called me and was furious because they had just purchased this house. They had it listed with an agent. Their house was listed, and they had bought a house. And they found out that when they clicked the contact agent button, they thought they were getting a listing agent. Well, they went out there. The agent showed them the house. You know, short story. The seller said, hey, why didn't you just contact my agent, my listing agent? It would have saved you $25,000. Well, when they found out about this, they were furious and they called me. They canceled the paperwork that they signed with that agent and listed with me. And these people were experienced, knowledgeable. They bought at least 6 or 7 homes in their lifetime. And they were even fooled by it. And it cost them $25,000. Why would they ask? They don't know. Nobody knows this. Nobody expects. Listen, we're realtors. We should be disclosing this. Our association should say, hey, you know, just like all these code of ethics, you can't do this, can't do that. Well, one of the most important things, you say you want to help consumers, then why isn't this on the contract? Any other companies getting paid in this on the referral? When I click this button, how is this going to impact?
Well, that agent...
And this is in the lawsuit. Actually, it's in the lawsuit that said, hey, this is a material fact. If tens of thousands of dollars and thousands of dollars are going to a third party for not doing anything in the transaction, don't you think the consumer should know?
Yeah.
Not only that, how many people lose houses between $5,000 and $10,000? A lot. And that's right here.
We just had one that they couldn't qualify because it was a little too high.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have the extra fees, maybe they would have qualified.
Correct.
So consumers are not getting certain homes because of this extra money. And basically, it's a monopoly. Zillow is a monopoly, basically taking over.
but the agents that are working for Zillow that is splitting the money with them should still abide by the code of ethics
But they
because
don't
they're
wanna lose-
agents.
they
And
don't wanna
why
lose
are
their-
the associations not cracking down on this, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they're supposed to
are.
be in your
No, they're not.
favor, right? And they crack down on you realtors for not posting the right things in your little descriptions, but then they're not
They
cracking down
only
on
crack
this.
down until somebody actually turns you in or something.
The MLSs and NAR have known about this for how long?
2 years.
Years.
For
They haven't done
Zillow.
nothing.
Zillow.
I guess
One when I say, are they cracking down? Maybe 1 or 2 here and there, but I don't know any major ones. I know in Vegas, you've seen what's going on. You don't. I mean, you're in
cracking
Denver.
down
You didn't
on
know about this in Denver. You
certain
don't know Las Vegas.
agents, you know, it's not
And-
as a whole.
And did these decision makers at these associations and NAR, what relationship do they have with these companies? Okay, that's what we need to look at.
I
too.
have no trust in NAR, honestly, after our big lawsuit. Zero.
Well, I mean,
Zero confidence.
You had here's where NAR and the local MLSs, I don't know what they're thinking. You had the opportunity to gain the trust back of consumers, but instead, this law firm that just beat you in court or whatever you want to talk about for the antitrust, they filed a lawsuit that realtors are cheering on. If I would have told you 2 weeks ago that, you know, many realtors are cheering on the law firm that just sued many of your local MLSs, many of your companies, and won, you would think, oh, that would never happen. It's crazy. All you got to do is go on social media and you'll see these real estate coaches that are posting about the Zillow thing, and you'll see all these realtors cheering on this law firm. This should have been our cheering on the law firm because the realtors I've been talking about this for years, and they
No,
wanted
no
to know
action was
why
taken
the
by them.
MLS and NAR wasn't doing anything.
Oh, they're cheering on because of this lawsuit against Zillow now.
Yeah,
oh,
they're cheering on this law firm.
Okay.
Saying, yeah,
Why,
thank
if
you.
there's so many people that were cheering it on, didn't this happen sooner? And why didn't anybody else get another law firm
I mean, people
involved?
also don't want to
Good
sue,
question.
or people
Good
are
question.
making money.
If
Well,
you
no,
You
good
don't
knew-
wanna
question.
lose.
The consumers, it's exactly that right there is common sense.
Well-
why did it take this long to be made public when it was known? And who was involved?
I think the biggest thing is that if you're a flex agent, you don't want to say anything because you're making money. You're getting 80% of the leads that are coming in. Why would I want to? The flex agent's not going to say anything. He's making good money because he's getting all the leads that are coming in.
But other
Plus-
people know about it that aren't flex
It just
agents, so they should be doing something.
They were
because
trying. Yeah, exactly.
know.
But over the years, they were trying. Just no one ever put it
They
together.
weren't trying hard enough because
Well,
there
the
wasn't a lawsuit.
NAR
They
should have done
needed
it.
a lot more
They should have done it.
people.
You agree?
I think.
Well, that's
The
that
NAR
ants
should have done it.
coming together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
what it
because
took.
people don't
like-
go out of their way to come together to
No.
fix something. They just want to complain about
Absolutely.
something.
Well, it's actually
That's the
it's like the United
actually,
Nations.
Robert, I think his name is Refkin over at Compass Realty. He has been fighting for about 2 years about this, right? And they have been torturing him and slinging mud at him, lying about him, saying all this stuff about him. So he has been trying. So there are a group
But
of realtors.
if he was trying, why are other people not backing him up? If he's got, if
think
there's
it's money
all
and
these
time.
cheerleaders,
Money and time.
all these cheerleaders, but no one backing him up.
Good question, right
question,
there.
yeah.
Why isn't that's what we've been asking?
Yeah.
And NAR, the local MLSs, exactly that. Why weren't they backing him? Why weren't they looking out for the consumers? Why weren't they putting watermarks on the listings like Refkin says? That's exactly what we've been talking about. And who was benefiting from this, right? So why wasn't that's going to come out? Why weren't these associations and why wasn't
So who's ultimately helping Zillow disguise this
The
cost?
benefactors.
the leadership? I mean, look,
Yeah,
we're just the realtors don't have most of the realtors don't have say. It's the leadership in these associations, and now it's being exposed in this.
Yeah.
And to give you an idea how powerful these associations and how NAR is, this law firm, they're the ones that beat the tobacco companies. So that's the kind of might it takes to go up against these real estate,
Major institutions.
juggernauts that have, tons of, and don't forget, NAR has how much, what do you call it? Lobbying do they have, right?
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost, what was it, 500 million? What
For-
did we settle for?
Yeah, like something like that.
Well, they sued us for a
416,
billion. They sued us for $1 billion. NAR settled for, half $500 million.
Yeah.
That's
Over
our
what?
real estate money.
Over the antitrust lawsuit about a year ago.
Yeah.
And that's why we're saying, hey, you could have, and then this clear cooperation policy. Hey, listen, it would have been very, very hard for this scheme to happen if clear cooperation policy wasn't in place. Okay, and they talk about some of that in here about the putting the listing on in one day. And now this has caught the attention of the FTC and DOJ because remember the DOJ said, oh, clear cooperation policy looks okay. Oh, we didn't look under the hood. We didn't look under the hood about your clear cooperation policy. You told us this was the best avenue to get all the listings out to everybody. Well, whoa, you didn't tell us that some of these companies that were getting it out there for you were charging the consumers. You acted like it was free. You acted like all these people got to put this where it's all this
Yeah.
exposure.
Hey, Steve, is this the same law firm that won the $500 million?
Yes, yes. Yes, that's what I
Wow.
was talking about. You could go
Yeah.
on these real estate coaches like Tom Ferry just did a post. I think his name is Jared James and Colton Whitney, and they're posting about it, right? And you can read the comments. I didn't. There was like 500 Tom Ferrys. I read like 50 or 60, and I didn't read. I read one that was neutral, and all the others were good. Go, thank you. Talking about these guys.
Wow. These are the same guys that's going to go after everything real estate now because it was so easy for them to get a payday.
I mean, the average.
Well, not that it was so easy for them. It was like when people say, "Oh, the NAR didn't have good attorneys." No, they had really good attorneys. You just made it too easy for them. You made
Yeah.
it. You made like you had MLSs that were blocking commissions. I mean, how easy could you have made it for them? And now this right here, this is going to be pretty easy too because guess what? Guess who these attorneys are going to call for their best witnesses? All the realtors that
are doing flex.
all the realtors that were fired from Flex,
Fired,
all the
yeah.
realtors that didn't get a Flex, all the realtors that were buying leads from these guys for the past 10 years, spending 20, 30 grand a month, that Zillow said, sorry, we're going to Flex now. You don't think those guys are going to be good witnesses? You don't think they're going to, in fact, one of the coaches, I forget which one, did a post, and current agents are sending in screenshots, sending in recordings of how they're being told that they have to send a certain amount of loans and all that. They're saying how they have scripts on how to redirect the buyers. They're saying have scripts on, hey, we work with the listing agent, like it's in the same office, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So these guys are doing screenshots to this coach. I mean, so these allegations are going to be tough for them.
Catch me up. Who is Flex?
That's the Zillow Flex program. It's
okay.
it's that 40% program.
Oh, okay, got it.
But now basically also they're recording the phone calls with that follow-up boss program.
Yes, every phone call is recorded, not just by Zillow, but also by the team leads. And they can't get rid of those recordings because if you do, then that's destruction of whatever. You know that.
So to break it down for someone like Felicia and me, normal human beings, not realtor vampires like you two, but basically what it comes down to is if a Flex agent does not do the recording, does not use follow-up boss program, does not log the calls, does not do all the scripting, then they basically will lose getting the referrals, and they also have to send all their leads a certain percentage, which is like a RESPA issue, for the Zillow loans, even though they're supposedly helping people get the loan, they're really pressuring people to use Zillow loans. So they're, again, it's like kind of defrauding the consumer. And then, so the agents are basically nervous because they're going to lose the business if they don't follow this. Plus, the percentage of the referral fee is going up to 40 or 45%. I mean, eventually, when does it take over? I mean, there's a lot basically going on. But the thing with it is, Zillow really is Zillow is really controlling the Flex agents and pressuring them to basically send to Zillow loans, which is not good for the consumer in general because they're paying more money whether for Zillow loan because they're paying for the lead as well. If the loan transaction goes through, they're losing money.
Well, if you call me to buy a house and you ask me for the best lender, and if I don't send you to this lender, I'm not going to get any more calls. So the
Zillow leads.
It's not just Zillow. A lot of these lead generation companies are doing this.
If you don't follow their program.
So what are the chances of you getting the best mortgage? Because number one, that person doing the mortgage, they're most likely not very good. Because if they were, they wouldn't be working for a company that's taking about 80 to 90% of their commission, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, now what we're seeing is the actual buyer's agents are furious because, wait a minute here. First of all, you're taking 70% of my commission. And now you're making my job harder because my lender will get the deal closed. These guys over here are a nightmare. And what I've seen... And what I've seen is at the closing, they know that they're going to close on the house, right? So they give them a lower rate, right? But what they didn't tell them is that they charged them 2 or 3 points. So that happens with a lot of loans right now.
Interesting.
So if you don't have 2 lenders competing, then you know you can pretty much do whatever you want. So it's just common sense. If I am having to use this lender and the buyer asks me, is this the best lender you know? What are you going to say?
You're going to say, yeah, it's the best lender I know.
You're putting the realtor in a bad situation. So
you're making them lie.
That buyer's agent is not being honest. In fact, I've got several examples where I had a deal where I knew this wasn't the best lender, so I put it in the counter. So me representing the seller, I was helping out that buyer. And I told them, go get pre-approved with your in-house lender. Your agent has an in-house lender that I know is good. So it's not my lender, and I'm not getting any compensation for it. And the reason why I want them to go to a good lender, because I'm representing my seller, and I know if this guy tells me that the deal's going to get done, it's going to get done. I know that buyer's going to get a good deal with this lender.
I see.
Over what the other option was, right? And for my seller, now my seller could make plans on buying another house or doing whatever they're doing. So I'm representing the seller at the same time. I actually helped out the buyer.
Interesting. And they accepted that counter?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
So, well, here's the funny part. 10 days go by, 7 or 10 days, can't remember. I said, hey, where's my pre-approval from Joe? What are you talking about? I go, it's in the counter. Oh, well, they got it pre-approved already. They already the appraisal, blah, blah, blah. I go, no, I don't care. We will cancel if I don't have the pre-approval in 2 days.
Oh.
Okay. So guess what? When that lender called me, guess what he said?
It's not pre-approved yet?
Steve, I can't get this done. What do you mean? They don't even have their taxes done yet. Are you kidding me?
So they lied to you. The other
agent.
The other agent.
Oh
my God.
Well, no, the other agent didn't know.
Oh,
he took the word of that other mortgage company.
Oh.
So we're going through this whole process, right? So finally, the lender that I sent it to, he had to take money out of their house, had to do this, had to do like some crazy, not crazy stuff, totally legit, but he had to jump through hoops to get them this house. And it would have fallen apart
Yep.
if it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Bottom line, that I forced him to use that lender. Or the people were going to close. I didn't force them to use that lender. I said, if you don't get pre-approved with this lender, you could use either lender.
Yeah.
But if you don't get pre-approved with this one, seller's not going to take the deal. And the seller understood, and I explained to the seller why. And the seller was 1,000% onto it because they were talking to the buyers too.
That's pretty good, though. You must have known the lender then.
Well, what happens when the listing agent doesn't know this?
Nah, yeah.
What happens when the listing agent gets one and says, oh, yeah.
Not a done deal.
And they ordered the appraisal. I mean, maybe in 25 years, once the appraisal is ordered, it's very rare. I can't, maybe 2 or 3, I don't remember. Once the appraisal is ordered and done, very rare does it fall out unless there's like an emergency or something. They had the appraisal done in 5 days and they couldn't get the loan done. They hadn't even pulled their taxes. Who does this?
Exactly. Wow.
Real quickly, why is Zillow forcing sellers to post homes on their platform within 24 hours prior to the MLS?
Oh, that I think
Why-
that
I didn't know about that
comes
part
with
of it.
lawsuit too. Yeah, so that's part of the clear cooperation policy is you have to have it once you get a listing, it has to be on the MLS within 24 hours. There's a few exceptions, but like you can advertise it in your office only. You can't stupid rule, dumb rule, right? And now we're seeing how dumb it really is, right? Because now you got named in a lawsuit, and Zillow's going to say, "Hey, we're just following clear cooperation policy in MLS. That hey." Where'd you guys get this idea from? Oh, MLS. What MLS? You told us this clear cooperation policy was good. So what this does is this gives more power and more control to who?
Zillow.
Yes. Yes.
How are they
so
forcing
what
that?
what that does is that allows them to charge more and do more because they know what? A competitor isn't going to be able to come and compete with them, or it's going to be extremely hard and they're going to have huge barriers. To your point, why aren't other people doing anything? Well, when you got policies like this, what makes it very difficult for people to come in and compete. Make it an open playing field, and sellers aren't dumb. If they're not getting showings on the house, guess what? You're going to put it on certain websites. It should be allowed where, hey, if I want to try this website, I want to try this website for however long the seller wants, they should allow that. Well, what these MLSs are saying, a lot of them, and a lot of these people promoting this, oh, when you put it on the MLS, it goes everywhere. Well, first of all, it's not free, and going everywhere, does that really get them the most net? Because if they're having to pay a higher commission, but they could have got the same amount on this website, but with less fees, less cost, how's that better?
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
You see what I mean? Common sense.
Sure,
And that's what Compass is saying. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe we're right. Maybe we're not. But you know what? Let the free market decide. And this is giving control and power to companies that are using it against, if all this was free, then hey, that's all good, but it's not free.
So wait, you know how when we list it in the MLS, it does populate to all the other websites, right? Is it because those other websites have a deal with MLS? Is that why? Because if not, if you're saying that the seller can pick and choose what websites, I mean, that's a lot of places to have to go and post.
No, it's real simple. It's real simple. All they have to do is have 2 buttons. One for free websites and one for websites that charge a fee or referral. That's it. That's all you need is 2 buttons. That's it.
Well, that's if someone wants to search for it.
But that's if you already have.
And then let the seller decide. Hey, do you want to go on this portal? Because if you get an offer from this portal, it's going to be about 40 to 70% more. Well, am I going to get more money? Well, no. You're going to get the same buyers. Just where are they going to come from?
Yeah, but
you want to come from free, or you want to come from? Now, are they helping me market my house? Are they doing anything? No, they're just putting it out there.
Yeah, but Steve, there would already have to be a system in place that has these websites, one that's free, all these websites that's free, and then all these other websites.
It's already in place. Century 21 is free. Keller Williams is free. Compass is free. I'm free. You're free.
Yeah, but that's a lot of different.
No, it's not.
Are you guys all together? Are you all kind of conglomerate or something?
There used to be able to check on ListHub. Used to be able to choose. I'll be on this website or I'll be on here. It's not like this is some kind of new technology. This is
You
available.
mean like you can just check these
Yes.
other way?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's different.
Yeah,
Okay.
List Hub.
Okay.
Okay. So List Hub is how they get out there. You were able to choose. You can be able to choose. That's how we're in 2025 with AI, and that's another thing with AI. You can AI has the ability now to find a house for sale anywhere, whether it's Facebook or Zillow or the local newspaper, right online. They can find it. So this nonsense about now, if all this stuff was free, then yeah, getting it out there is great, but it's not free. It's not free, and it's having a material impact on the buyers and sellers.
wasn't it free when it went into the MLS? Pretty much. Like when it populated to all the other websites through MLS, wasn't that a free thing?
Before Zillow.
If somebody finds the house on the MLS, okay, and they're using an agent that found them the house that they found on the MLS, right? Then they use an agent that they found on a portal, okay? This agent can do it for 1.5%, and make the same amount of money as this person that's going to charge them more.
3%.
And guess what? This person right here, would do it for 1% if
Can't afford to do it because
they had this option.
But you're talking about
That's
the
right.
buyer.
That's right.
You're talking about the buyer's agent, though. I'm
the
just
sellers
talking
too now.
Sellers.
They're charging the sellers 70% too. A lot of these, anytime
leads.
any lead, buyer or seller, they're getting a lot of listings now too, because it says make an offer on this house, and don't forget 40 to 50% of buyers are what? They need to sell their house. So now these sellers are saying, "Oh yeah, you got to pay 6%. You'll get more money for your house." Everyone, that's with it. That's a going. Blah blah blah. Well, wait a minute. I paid you that, but 70% is going to people I never talked to, people I never had that had no impact on the sale of my house.
It's different, I think, also for Gentille, because basically she has more relationships with people that she's not a flex agent. She's not dealing with these people, so it's different.
Yeah.
But people that are working the flex agents, the leads, the teams, that's where it's affecting more people. But it's also hurting the consumer because they're paying more.
And
they'll pay less with you.
Hurting the consumer.
See, any of my listings, even the ones that did auto-populate, and even if it goes through some buyer's agent that got it through the flex program, it didn't do anything to me because I'm still the listing agent. They still had to come to me to do the transaction.
Yeah,
but the buyer's paying more.
That's what I'm saying. The buyers. Yeah.
How many times? Okay, you know how many times I get phone calls that say, "Hey, where do I need to be to get 3%? Or I need 3.5. Or I need 4. Where do I need to be?"
What price?
So I
You're
tell
raising
them,
the price.
yeah, okay. I tell the seller, "Hey, these guys want 4%. Okay, tell them 680. Okay, cool, 680. Well, that seller would have sold it for 650 or 6 whatever. Well, a lot less. So this kind of plan.
But the truth is, the realtors really shouldn't be having that conversation.
But
because
most of these buyers
just submit it.
don't have enough money anyways to pay the commission. I mean, some, like we're talking about 50-50, because first-time home buyers, obviously, they don't have enough money to pay their agent.
Not a lot. Well, guess what? How many homeowners are not able to make their payments right now because they paid 70% to these companies when that 70% could have been used to buy down their interest rate, like the new homes. They'd be saving $300 to $400 a month right now, but instead they paid off to.
Real quickly, I think we got a few minutes left. But a question for you: is there another lawsuit about this 24-hour rule that's coming out, or is there another? Is that
so? That's the clear cooperation policy. I think that's the Compass Zillow, and then there's another one. I think I think somebody's doing it with private listing services, but we'll have to. There's so many lawsuits that have come out the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks with all this stuff. I mean, listen, you cannot create a policy that helps or hurt a certain business model and at the same time hurts consumers. You have to let the free market play.
Last question: what's the story with this best of Zillow badges, like the best of Las Vegas?
Yeah, so the best of Zillow badges, that's pretty funny. So
Gentille needs a few badges.
What is it for?
Well, let's back up a little bit on.
Should be wearing
you're
that.
talking about
I'm not a flex agent.
when we're talking about redirecting. Okay, this is a perfect example. If you're driving by and you see a house with a for sale sign on it, and you call that for sale sign, and it's Dave, and he's the listing agent. So now you're talking to a listing agent.
Oh, God, I'm hanging up.
Okay. Okay, so now you're talking to a listing agent. Now, what if it was Dave's listing, and
Got diverted.
when he was on vacation, and I took his sign down, and I went up and I put my sign
What?
in the front yard.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, listen. I'm not done. Hold on.
Oh,
You've done on
hypothetical,
Zillow.
hypothetical,
Listen.
hypothetical.
So
okay.
he's on vacation, and I put my sign in the front yard, and nobody knows. You call me now, and you like that house, and you make that offer. That's exactly, and like you said, that's crazy. That's exactly what's going on with online right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what is happening.
Well,
and
Yeah.
how and it could easily be taken care of by putting the watermark on all the pictures, which we've been saying for 10 years, like it used to be. And that's exactly what Compass is talking about. Compass just put it on his social media post. Put the watermark on all the pictures. And guess what? This stuff, very, very difficult to happen anymore.
I see.
I would say this. If I was you, since you do this full time as a realtor, you have about 15 listings, I'd be pissed off that every time someone looks at my listing, they see some other schmuck realtor. Your name and number should be there. Even watermark, that's not even really like totally kosher.
No, the watermark,
it's still hiding it.
Of course, the watermark.
still
but
not like kosher.
But the reason why the watermark is good is because these other websites are creating websites with, But the watermark, it should be, like you said, it should be very plain. So any consumer.
It should be clear, not be deceptive,
That's
not
right.
be fraudulent.
And the watermark guarantees that. But like you said, when it says contact agent, it should say contact a buyer's agent that's paying us a referral or contact a listing agent.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. Even if the buyer doesn't go direct or doesn't go direct to listing agent, doesn't want to, right? And most probably, who knows how many don't or do. But the fact that the buyer's agent would know that if I try and gouge this person on the commission, that they might just go direct to the listing agent. So this actually keeps commissions competitive and it keeps buyer's agents much more knowledgeable and experienced. Because right now, you can get right out of real estate school and you're going to make that big fat commission as if you're in the business for 3 days or 30 years.
It's not fair to a professional that's been doing it for a long period of time like yourself and John TV.
It's not fair to the consumer.
And it's not fair to the consumer because the fee situation as well.
Yeah, like
it's being deceptive.
Right, like the Zillow badge, the best of Zillow badges. So they need to explain this better because I see new agents that go on Zillow Flex teams and all of a sudden they become best of Zillow badge. Wait a minute, what's going on here?
They bought it.
Well, no. Why is Zillow? why is Zillow giving a Zillow badge to somebody that hasn't had any houses sold? And then also, don't you think it's important to know how many transactions a realtor has done?
Yes and no.
So if you go online, hold on.
I think there's experience, but there's also a lot of people that do a lot of deals that just aren't for you. So I think there's more to it than just deciding based on how many they've done.
But would you consider that if someone does a lot of transactions, they're more likely to be more knowledgeable than someone that doesn't?
More experience.
Yeah.
Right?
More experience.
Yeah. So if you're looking at two realtors and they're about the same, right? And you see one realtor that does 30 transactions and this realtor does 2 transactions, everything else is the same. What realtor are you going to choose?
I mean, if that's my only thing to base it on, you'd choose the one that does more.
Correct. Now, if you're on a portal and you're on these websites and this agent
Has zero experience.
has 30 transactions and this one has 10, but these 30 transactions, they're not their transactions. They are taking other people's production and putting it under them. Don't you think that's deceptive?
I mean, it's just the same as these businesses that use fake reviews. It's the same exact thing.
The problem is
There you go. It's deceptive. Fake. So perfect example. So allowing
Felicia's
people.
good, huh? She's
Yeah.
good.
Hey, I like that. So the
differently.
production.
We pay extra for that.
Fake reviews is the same as, so it's fake production. So people are using, and it's funny you say that because right now it's common practice for many realtors to take other people's production and put it under theirs. So the consumer thinks that, oh, they're doing like 30 or 40 deals. And then when you go on there, when you talk to this agent, go, hey, wait a minute. I thought you did like 30 deals or 50 deals or 100 deals.
Oh, they're like my team did.
Exactly. And then you're talking to agents that have zero production. But guess what?
Got a badge.
They've done 20 or 30 transactions so far this year, but it looks like zero. So the consumer, and now all these people are saying, hey, well, I really did a lot of transactions. It's just not under my name. What? Well, how does that make any sense? How is that transparent to the consumer? That's not deceptive? When people are hiring people thinking they did 300 or 400 transactions, when in actuality, they haven't even met 90% of those people or talked to those people?
That's weird how that's possible because when I look at my production, it's all the stuff that I've done, like not my team. Obviously, I'm part of the team,
that's when you're
but that's not added on.
But that's when you're a flex agent, right?
Huh?
You're a flex agent.
So some of these websites are saying are using other people's production. These agents are getting these new agents and putting the production on them. So that is a big factor for consumers because all these coaches and these gurus are telling the consumers, hey, one of the most important things you need to look at when you're looking for a realtor is how many transactions they've done.
So when you say they're factoring in transactions, are you factoring in the listing that you are covering up and saying that they are doing? So like if Dave has a listing and Zillow puts, an agent in front of that listing, are they counting it as Dave's transaction when that's completed?
Probably.
As one? Or are they just talking about Zillow as like a whole and like who their team does?
So let's say
We're a team.
you close a transaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you work for Dave. Your transaction would go under Dave's name. So now when the consumer looks you up, it looks like you haven't done any transactions.
Oh, so it's only like the team leader or
And sometimes they're team leaders, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's the office. There's no rules or regular.
That's for this?
But
that's for that badge
I'm more
thing?
talking
Is that what
about,
you're
like-
talking about?
No, I'm talking about transactions. The
Transactions as a
transactions
whole.
aren't transparent. You should be able to
Yeah.
know because what people are saying now is, well, I've done 30 transactions, but they're
Yeah.
not in my name. Well, now people can say, oh, yeah, I've done 30 transactions, but not in my name. Look at that. In fact, people actually put it on the portals. Yeah, I've actually done 80 transactions. They're just in that person's name.
I know. Are you talking about what's currently happening right now, or are you talking about Zillow specifically? Or that this deception list of transactions per agent?
It depends on who you're talking with, but yes, it's happening across the board.
Oh,
And that's another MLS policy that said, listen, if someone does the transaction, it should go in their name. None of this
Yeah.
nonsense, oh, team leader.
It
This,
does,
because it's
usually.
deception and not transparent to the consumers.
Yeah.
And then you get this nonsense because the consumer thinks
Right.
they're working with someone that's knowledgeable and experienced, and they're not.
Because in the MLS, okay, so even if you're on a team of 10 people and the agent is licensed, and when you close that deal, it's under your name. It's not under the team's name or it's not under the team leader's name. It's usually that agent that closed that
But
deal.
they could play with
No,
this.
no,
right?
no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no,
it
no,
is.
no, 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 no. Many agents have that what you just described.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't use that public ID. They use the public ID of the person that they work with. So under what you just said,
oh well,
let's
then,
just
then
under
that's
what
their fault. If
under-
they don't
under-
want to be, if they don't want it to count towards them, and they use somebody
But
else's
it shouldn't be
PID,
allowed. It shouldn't be
It
allowed.
shouldn't be
It's not-
allowed.
It's
It
deceptive.
goes back to the same thing. You
That
want
means
leads
they're-
from me? You want leads from me? Then you got to use my public ID.
that
And you
means
gotta-
they're.
Because
I
it builds
get
them
it.
up.
I
It
get
builds
it.
them up, so it makes them
Well,
look
not,
better.
not,
The team
only,
leader.
not only it builds them up, but
That
it
means
hurts
they're
that
not
person.
licensed.
But it also hurts the consumer because the consumer sees all these people that do zero, so the people that do a lot
Got it.
are the same. So it makes them like what it does is it creates like all the realtors the same. It creates a commodity. Oh, look at all these realtors. Look, there's 30 realtors on my team. None of them done any deals. Well, that's not true. They've done 5 or 10, 6 or 7, 8 or 9. It's all under one public ID. So now the consumer looks and says, oh, it just goes under here. So you don't know if you're getting a good one or a bad one based on knowledge and experience, based on transactions.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up in general. Long story short, this is like the first part of like a 3-part series about all this stuff. It's deceptive trade practices. Basically, consumers need to learn more about this stuff. It's basically we're making it aware. I'm glad that when we brought this up, we were talking this for a few months now, actually. That the Problem Solver basically we did a press release to the public. Not much really came from it in general, but basically it seems like things got stirred up, just like some other news releases that we've done on the Problem Solver podcast. So I'm glad that we, Steve, Gentille, we brought things to light in regards to the problem solver. This is a problem. All these things are different problems that need to be worked out, and that's why some lawyer basically that's got
Never-ending
money and
problems.
time that basically is starting these lawsuits in the long run to basically hopefully correct these deceptive trade practices so that realtors don't have to be pressured to do things that they shouldn't be doing, which the consumers need to know about in general. So with that basically being said, I appreciate Felicia. Appreciate Steve and Gentille basically sharing the knowledge and experience. And like I said, it gets very complex. And that's why I think that you need
We can
good
go on
representation.
for a long time about it, huh?
And we can talk about it probably for weeks and months in general. So anyway, Dave Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver, problemsolver.vegas. If you have a problem, 702-999-1111. And we'll see you the next time. Thank you.